My biggest fear is a spun rod bearing. What's up, everybody? I am just gonna record the happenings of the day here. I've got, if you heard the last episode, dropped on the 24th, you know that I've got a little bit of a knock in the Subaru. So I bought that 2016 WRX, not STI. Thank you for everybody who said nice STI to me so far. It is not that, but it is pretty fun. It's fantastic driving a manual transmission again. That's been a ton of fun. Developed a little bit of a knock, trying to trace that down. It's only when I'm giving it like between 2 and 5% throttle. I don't know if those are exact measurements, but that's what it feels like. When I'm just touching the gas, it gives a little knock. And it's consistent. It's consistently at that throttle range. And I say it's at that throttle because it's not at a specific RPM. It's at all RPMs at that specific throttle. So my biggest fear is a spun rod bearing. That's what I've been looking up that it could possibly be. Follow along. I'm gonna figure out if that's the case. Got started already. It's a little bit sketchy getting it up on these ramps because it's lowered on the coilovers and everything. So I had to use some wood and kind of get it on there. So this one's not on all that well. You can kind of see the tires hanging over. But it's solid. Move it a little bit. So here's what I've done so far. Just opened it up, obviously drained the oil, cleaned out the oil filter housing there, just so it's clean. I'm just looking for any signs of any kind of metal and everything. Obviously pop that. And then I do have a skid plate under here. I've got a skid plate under here, installed by the prior owner, still draining out a little bit of oil there. This has been bumped up pretty good a few times. So anyways, that is what we're dealing with right now. You can see that wheel's a little bit off. That one's solid. So we're good. I'm just not going to lay under here for long periods. Anyways, first initial weird thing is that the drain plug was a 14 millimeter. I thought these were 17 millimeter. So, and it was pretty gummed up. So I'm going to keep that one for now because I have a feeling I'm going to be draining this again. That's what we're working with now. I'm gonna let that drain the rest of the way, plug it up, refill it, and then I'm going to go through this oil and see if we see any metal. Okay. Leak, obviously. All right, that'll do. You ever have those intrusive thoughts? What would happen to me if this thing just totally fell? That's anyways, intrusive thoughts aren't gonna win today. Initially, you know what would have been a really good idea is to clean this before. Oh, that doesn't look like metal. There's some grit and stuff in here. I'm gonna just wipe it out with a towel and see if anything I see in here is like metally. I've never had a car with a spun bearing, so I don't really know what kind of metal shards to look for. I haven't really had a car with any metal shards. Yeah, that's all sand. It's a bunch of sand on the dirt, whatever, on the whatever, the pan thing. Okay, let's go in the sun. See if there's any reflective material in here. No, that's not. Okay, well, my initial signs are good. The thing I didn't think about was how am I going to actually go through this oil? Obviously with a magnet would be ideal. Maybe I just dip a big magnet in there. Got this thing, this is one of those garage magnets like for tools and stuff. I'm gonna put it in here. I'm gonna run all the oil basically through that as sort of a filter. See if I got any chunks out of there. See how that works. I like using pairs of these gloves. Yeah, for how this is gonna work. I think it's completely covered now. This. Oh, that was cool. Guess I could have guessed that would happen. Okay, dirt specks on here, but nothing metally. Sort of like switch it around. Still clean. Okay, still nothing. The oil feels so weird. This little tiny piece, only piece I've got so far. No other bits or metal shavings. Good news is, I did not find any metal at all in the oil. With the magnet, I put another magnet in, nothing. Didn't find any metal shreds. So that's good. The engine already sounded a little bit better. Let's get that oil back in. It's gonna get Rotella T6. I saw that was recommended. It's actually a diesel oil. I saw that was recommended as like a thicker oil for these cars, especially higher miles. So I saw that one was SAE 540, 5W40, and this Castrol Edge Euro car formula is also SAE 540. This one was also recommended online. So I went with that instead. And then I just did a K&N oil filter. That's kind of cool. I didn't know they had the little sticker. Shows you how many times I've done this on the top, so you can put the mileage on and whatever. So I don't know if this is like bro science or if this is real. I've always dipped my finger in the oil and rubbed it on the rubber ring before I put it on. Let me know, guys, if I'm harming my engine or helping my engine or just being a plain dummy. This one looks pretty solid. It's got a lot of metal baffles and stuff in there. I think this will be a good filter. The thing I like about it is it's got the nut on top, so it makes it a little easier to twist off for the next change. Okay, that seems tight. Okay, everything's on. Let's not spill all the oil in the engine. I always like these little funnels. Like kind of sits in there. Online says 5.4 quarts. We've got 5 in this one. Quart. I'll have to get 0.4 out of that. It's that first pour that's always sketchy. Oh, hey, that wasn't that bad. This reminds me of when I changed the oil on my first Subaru, 1999 Preza hatchback, and I put a whole liter of, I want to say it was some kind of gear oil. I believe it was supposed to go in the engine, I'm not sure, but that one had like 100% blow through on cylinder 3. Like the rings were gone and vaped like crazy. Not me, the car. It like burned about a quart a week that I would fill it up with. So put the super thick stuff in, quieted the whole engine down. It was awesome. It was great up until the day that it exploded, but besides that, it was a great car. 5.4, just under half. Okay, just under half. Put a little. That oil is about as easy of oil change as I've ever done. Okay, so that's on, that's on. Let's check. I know we're elevated here, but just to check our level. I know it won't be super accurate until I pull it off of here, which I guess I can do now. Maybe I worry about the gas swap later. Beauty. Well, I guess I may as well pull it off of the stands here. Rolling it down might be a problem. I may or may not lose my front bumper pulling the car down because the wood that I used to drive it up here broke while I was driving it up. And I don't know that I have much more wood. I'm gonna try to find some wood, try and drive this thing off of here without pulling the front bumper off. Got this little mirror here. So when I'm sitting in the driver's seat, just see where the wheels were so I didn't drive too far off of the little ramps there. Oil change is done. Going to see what I can do to get this thing off here. We're gonna start her up. Ooh. All of the sounds. I think I did. Okay. That works. Engine actually sounds really healthy now. Got a little tick. That does sound considerably better than before. I heard it starting a tiny bit. Next step from that is also pumping out the gas. Let's go ahead and get this bad boy hooked up. Fluid evacuator. So hoping that one of these hoses fits. Turns out that hose is not long enough to reach in there into the gas tank and pump out the gas. So I'm gonna have to do a little Googling, figure out how to get into there, because I just wanna pump out as much gas as I can that's in the tank right now. I think I'm at like half a tank. Pump out all of that and fill it up with my fresh 93 over there. I'm gonna open this up. We're getting into the fuel pump, and I'm just gonna run it in there under the pump and pump out the gas that way. Battery's unhooked, of course. Just 2 tabs here to pull the seats up, the rear seat anyways. 4 screws, and that's as far as I got so far. So I'm gonna keep going with this. Could not have been easier to get out. Just 8 screws around there. Pull it out. I'm just moving the fuel pump over to the side carefully. And this is how this extractor works. So it's just a hand pump. I'm just siphoning all the gas out that way. Fuel pump is back in. That's upside down. Buttoned up. Battery's plugged back in. Tiny bit. Still got the knock. All right, I'm gonna do something else and check back later. I'm gonna try to drive it, see how it sounds, and if I can run it out of gas and fill it all the way up with 93, test it with that, then we'll go from there. So, pumped out the gas, refilled it with 93, changed the oil. I didn't really find, you can hear it knocking right now. Didn't really find a ton of metal bits in the oil. There's a little bit of grit and stuff in the oil filter, but not really any metal. So either it's not rod knock from a spun bearing, and it's something else rattling, or some other reason that it's making a knock noise, or it's just early enough that it hasn't really spit out enough shavings yet. So that's what I'm taking to the shop. These guys I trust a lot. They do, oh, that's a fun sound. Put my clutch in. Huh, that's new. So I've had these guys do work on the Audi. They've done work on the Volkswagen. They do quite a few Subarus, it sounds like. Head in there. Obviously can't hold this while I'm driving stick, so I'm gonna pop this off and I will update. Man, that screaming sound is not fun. I'll update once I got some results from them. They should be able to tell me today what's going on. This will be the final part of this video. So just got the car back in the garage from the shop. They confirmed that it was a bottom end knock. So that means rod bearings failed. So I was really hoping it was like an exhaust valve, or maybe just using the wrong gas or whatever, something simple. But I think this was just bound to happen. High mile Subaru, 145,000 miles, you know, it's gonna happen at some point. So sucks, really sucks, but you know, stay tuned for more videos. We're gonna be pulling the engine, changing out the rod bearings, still deciding if I'm gonna do any kind of build on it at the same time. That's what we're looking at right now. Thanks for watching this unfortunate ending to this video. Again, like, share, subscribe, share with a friend, but me and Jake are gonna do it right here in the garage. Stay tuned. Thanks for watching.